and welcome to Lichfield Storytellers channel on YouTube. My name is Matt Hayward and I would like to tell you a story. This story is set in the Far East, and there was a king, and the king is in his stateroom, and his stateroom is situated in the centre of his palace at the top of a huge tower. And in the stateroom, the king will meet every day with his prime minister, and he will discuss the important business of the day. And today is no different. The king is in his stateroom, and he is busy dictating his orders to the prime minister, who's busily writing these down on the ledgers. And as the king is a very busy man, he calls down for some breakfast. Just a simple breakfast. He'd like some bread for wafers with honey. And duly, the honey and the bread arrive. And as the king continues to discuss the business with the prime minister, he wanders over to his window and he dips his bread wafer into his honey and he eats that delicious breakfast as he stares out across his wonderful and peaceful and affluent kingdom. And just as he does this, a tiny sliver of honey falls from his lips, drips down his beard until it tantalisingly holds on the very tip, and then it falls and drops onto the window ledge. Now the Prime Minister sees this happen and immediately stands up and says, "Oh, Your Majesty, would you like me to clean that up for you?" No, says the king. "We've got much more important things to do. Please carry on." And he carries on to discuss the business of the day. And the Prime Minister continues to write what the king says down. Now, that drop of honey fills the air outside, and it's not long before a little hungry wasp comes along and seeing that honey, it lands on the window ledge and the Prime Minister is trying to write down what the king is saying, looks up and says, "Your Majesty, would you like me just to go and..." No, says the king. "Please, leave that to someone else. This is more important." Well, the sight of that wasp and the smell of that honey is more than a little bird can cope with as it flies past. And suddenly it sees that wasp and it makes a dart for it and pecks at that wasp. And the wasp, not liking that, fights back a little bit. And again, the Prime Minister is busy trying to write down the king's words. Says, "Your Majesty, would you like me to just go and sort..." "No," says the king. "Enough. We've got more important things to do. Leave someone else to sort that out." Now, the wasp and the bird, busily having their little scrap, fly down to the foot of the tower, where every cat in the neighbourhood sees that fluttering bird, can smell that lovely honey, and they all attack the bird. Because there's only one bird, they start to attack each other. And still the bird's in the middle, and the little wasp. And then this cacophony rises up to the top of the building, and once again the Prime Minister says to the king, "Your Majesty, should I just stop and go and sort that?" "No," says the king. "As I said before, this is much more important. Someone else can deal with that." Well, you know what cats are. The noise they were making attracted every single dog in that kingdom. Dogs came from here, dogs came from there, dogs came from east, dogs came from west. The noise was horrendous. And again, the noise drifted up to the stateroom, and once again the Prime Minister that's trying to concentrate, "Your Majesty, please, would you really like me..." "No," says the king. "This is much more important. Someone else can deal with that." Well, seeing those dogs attack those cats brought every cat owner from that kingdom out with their spades and their bats and their sticks and they ran out into the street and they hit any dog they could see. Well, seeing all those cats being attacked, those dogs being attacked by those people, brought every dog owner out, and they too brought out their sticks and their shovels, and they began to hit those people that were hitting those cats. And the noise was incredible. And before long, there were riots, and the cat owners had brought out swords, and the dog owners had brought out stakes, and there was fighting in the street, and people began throwing fire. And before long, that kingdom was ablaze. And the following morning, the king stood in his stateroom with his prime minister. And the prime minister was sat silently, ledger book closed, pen at the side, head down. And the king stared at the stain that the little drop of honey had left. And as his eyes raised, he saw his kingdom, a smouldering black morass. And he looked down again at the little drop of honey, and he turned to his prime minister and he said, "You know, actually, perhaps we should have sorted that out straight away." Thank you.